Now I'd like to welcome for the first time to the show the CEO and commissioner of the season, and Mr. Peter Simones. You can follow him on Twitter at the SZN. Peter, thanks for coming on, man. Are you ready for some football this year?
It's great to be here. I'm so ready for football. The long, dark days without are about to be over. So let's get it on, man.
Well, that's great. And I really appreciate you coming on because, when we came across each other, wow, this is such an interesting site that you have for the public. And it's been out there for a while. And as a matter of fact, when I first saw it, I was like, I've seen these guys before. I've seen this before. It's getting more and more popular. Can you tell our listeners and viewers what the season is and how it got started?
Yeah, totally. So it's called The Season. You can find us at www.theszn.com. We spell it the cool kid way. And we run very fun, very big, and very simple pools. So classic formats like Survivor, Pick'em, One and Done. And that is our bread and butter. We think we do it better than anybody else. We have a lot of fun, and that's what you'll find on The Season.
Oh, that's awesome. So lots of contests and lots of fun games. That is cool. What year did you get it started?
I mean, it was a side project for me for a long, long time before I went full time with it 2 years back. But I was the sports editor at USC back in the glory days of Pete Carroll and Reggie Bush, and
Nice.
I started running pools with friends and family just to stay close to sports, and I took it way too seriously just for my own fun. And it spread and it spread, and it got so big over the years that it became my full-time job.
Well, that is wonderful. Wow, just a place to have fun and compete and make the football season more interesting for us all. Well, how many contests do you currently have at the SCN at the season.com?
Yes. So we do 10 different pools for the NFL. You can join any individual pool for $10. Or you can save money by doing a bundle of pools. So, for example, the 10-pack of all NFL pools, if you want max fun, is 40% off. And a lot of our members take advantage of those bundles.
Well, that's nice. So basically, they pay for pools, and you can get a bundle of pool. And then how do the payouts work?
Yeah, so I mean, it's as you would expect in terms of a lot to the winner. We do. I will say we don't do winner take all. So a lot of like Survivor pools and stuff are winner take all. We pay usually somewhere between 10 and 20% of participant size in terms of places, and in terms of the prize pools, it's important to note that they are guaranteed. All of them. They are fixed and stated in advance. So you always know sort of what is there and the structure of it before you choose to sign up.
Okay, awesome. So everything's guaranteed. Well, that's nice because it always makes you feel a hell of a lot better getting a guarantee when you don't. There's only very few places that do that. And some establishments are a little bit shady on that as well. But that's great that you guys have that for the public. I mean, how many people are getting on your big pools? And what's your most popular?
Yeah, totally. So, I mean, the pool that sort of put us on the map, made us famous, is our big Survivor. So classical NFL Survivor, one pick a week. We do move to 2 picks in week 10. We don't do any of this variable stuff depending on how many people are alive. It's just like it moves to 2 picks in week 10. That's how it works. So you can plan in advance if you want. And last year we had 13,000 people play in the NFL Survivor. And it's worth noting, everything that we do is single entry. So we don't do multiple entry stuff up to 10, 20 entries. I get it. That's a thing that people can do. But on the season, that like everyone has a level playing field and everyone's got 1 entry. So 13,000 entries means 13,000 people that were playing in our NFL Survivor last year.
Holy cow, 13,000. That is massive, my man. So what was the payout for that thing?
Yeah, so last year the winner took home a cool $100,000. And it's worth noting also, we have this slogan where we capitalize it. We say no damn ties. So a lot of Survivor pools and whatnot are just kind of split between however many people make it to the end. With all of the pools that we do, we structure it so that you're going to end up with a single champion at the end of the pool. So yes, we pay out a bunch of places as well, but you know that that champion's prize is not going to be split among a bunch of people, perhaps. It's going to be one person. And we sort of use tiebreakers if necessary, but often, given the way that we structure the pools, like moving to 2 picks per week in week 10, we don't need the tiebreakers. It breaks clean. So last year, we had 32 people that were alive, I believe it was week 14. And it was a tough week for Survivor. 31 dropped out. One guy was left. He was the champ. So he won $100,000. I will say that we got a lot of feedback from the season community. Again, we're big. We love to listen to our members who are just like, $100,000 is great. But like, man, it'd be nice to beef up the middle prizes and the long tail of prizes a little bit. And like 50, 75, whatever, that's still a ton of money for one person. So we got so many people telling us that we moved the first prize down to $50,000 this year, beefed up those middle prizes so that you're still winning 100, 200, 500 bucks on, a $10 entry, even if you finish well back at first place.
Well, that's interesting. So obviously great for the guy last year, but so what? You can win some mini contests too within it, I guess. Well, I mean, how do you not have a tie completely? Is it because of the 2 picks per week since week 10? Does that help it a lot?
Yeah, so it's like we've been doing the Survivor pool. This is our 15th year. And from the start, year by year, we tweaked and we tweaked. And as we got bigger and bigger, one of the things I say is that we specialize in pools that scale. We specialize on like how to do this in a way that actually creates champions versus like log jams and weird situations that nobody wants to be in. But yeah, if you move to 2 picks in week 10, it's very, very likely that you are going to have a clean champion. I will say that in a world in which, let's say you have 2 people left and they both drop out, right, in that subsequent week, we do what we call a tiebreaker pickoff, which is the following week, you basically do a pick'em of all the games that week, and you order them by confidence. And we use that to break a tie if necessary. We don't use it very often, but we have used it a few times to determine.
Wow. That's hard to hedge because it's not like you can like put a bunch of bets on the other side. You have no idea what the other guy's going to do. That is interesting, man. Well, that's puts on the pressure. Well, I mean, like it's kind of late for, I guess a lot of people do sign in after this podcast comes out on Thursday because you have all the way up till the first game on Sunday to get in. But still, what if, people are listening, but they don't get in? Are there other Survivor pools start maybe week 2, week 3, stuff like that?
Totally. So first of all, I would say, yeah, definitely you still have time to get in up until the 10 a.m. Pacific time kickoff on Sunday is when the week 1 pick deadline is. So come join us. If you don't happen to make it by that point in time, we do have pools that start at different times of the year. So we have a second chance Survivor that starts in week 5. Also very big prizes in that one, I think $25,000 in total prizes for that one. We have a third chance in week 9, which has an interesting, because it starts in week 9, you have to ramp up the picks per week. So it goes from like 1 to 2 to 3 picks per week pretty quickly. It's kind of like the Wild West of Survivor. And I'll say that our weekly pick'em obviously runs every week. And a huge majority of the prizes there are just for the weekly payouts. So we have $1,000 that's up for grabs every single week, and you can join at whatever week you want to and start participating in that one. So lots of pools that start after the beginning. But if you hear this, come join us for the start and save yourself some money on a bundle of pools.
When it comes to 2 or 3 picks, if you get one wrong, you're not out of Survivor, right? When it comes to
so for the third chance one, you are. So it's because it starts so late in the year.
Third chance.
You have to win them all to keep going.
But the main one, that's that you start 2 picks a week at 10.
At 10, right. Yeah. So for all of our Survivor competitions, if you lose, you're eliminated. But we also do one and done competition. So we have this fun one called the All 32 one and done, which is you have to pick each team in the NFL exactly once to win the game. And you have 1 pick in the first 4 weeks and then 2 picks from every week thereafter. So it's exactly 32 picks. And then it's no elimination. It's just whoever ends up with the best win-loss record at the end of the year, including that pick on the Cardinals, including that pick on the Texans.
So basically at week 10, if you get one of the 2 picks wrong, you're out of Survivor because it's that big. That's
exactly. I will say though, and this goes back to like us, we take pride in being super buttoned up with rules and tiebreakers and all of that. So if it's down to the bare end, very end, and you have 2 picks per week, and like one person gets both of them wrong, and one person goes 1-1. The person that goes 1-1 is the champion. So it's like ultimately the amount of wins is the thing that matters the most, but the elimination component, if you lose, you're out.
Do people get eliminated years before the final game?
Say that again.
Well, do people like exit before week 18? I mean, that's had to happen sometimes.
Yeah, totally. So
like
we used to, when we were smaller, it was just 1 pick all the way through the end. And then we got to a certain size where I think it was 2 years in a row, we had multiple people survive all the way through, at that point in time, 17 weeks. And so we were like, listen, we need to make some changes so that we can continue to ensure a single champion. In those years, what we did is we did like a playoffs pick 'em as the tiebreaker, which was fun. And it's like fewer games and sort of, but it's not the way that we wanted it to happen. So we moved to the 2 picks in week 10, and we have not had somebody go all the way through yet. So it usually ends somewhere between week 14 and week 17.
Gotcha. So we can enter all times a year. It gets a little tougher at the end, but there's somebody that's going to win. That's fun. And there's all these mini contests. And as a matter of fact, I am sponsoring a losers podcast for the odds breakers for you guys. Tell us about the losers contest.
Yeah. So we've got the loser survivor sponsored by the odds breakers, which is super fun. And I think people are pretty familiar with traditional survivor, but when you flip it and say, same notion, pick 1 team per week, you can only use each team once, but you're picking teams to lose. And if you lose, you survive and move on to the next week.
Arizona, too bad I can't use them every week.
Exactly. And what you quickly realize, and like we did this for the first time last year and people loved it. They were just like, this format's amazing. Like, please bring it back, keep it going. Like maybe even do multiple of them. And it's because the teams that are really, really, really bad are at more of a premium in the NFL than the teams that are either really good for the whole year or teams like the Lions last year that get really good for a stretch. You don't have that many teams that are just truly awful in like the parody, NFL universe of today. So loser survivor, I would argue over the long haul is actually a little bit even harder than
I would think so too, because you can pick your spots with the good teams. You can always fade the Cardinals every week, but you can't always pick against the Chiefs when they have a first place schedule. It's always going to be tough. It's like they play good teams all the time. So it's so interesting and that's so mind boggling, but that's how cool it really is, man, to do something like that. So I applaud you guys for doing that. It's going to be an exciting sponsorship for us this year. And I'll tell you this, man, the season has more to offer than just football, doesn't it?
Totally. Yeah. So we do 7 sports. I think right now we're up to 40 pools that we offer year round. Our biggest by sort of pool size after the NFL is golf in March Madness. But right now we have a EPL, the English Premier League. We have a soccer survivor, although we call it football season, because that's what the rest of the world calls it. So we have an EPL survivor and EPL pick 'em going right now. We just up for the Champions League. So lots of stuff if you come to the site. And I will say that we have a special thing for listeners of the odds breakers that when you come to the site, use the URL www.theseason.com/OB for odds breakers. So if you use www.theseason.com/OB, then when you sign up and join any pool of ours, we'll throw in for free a bonus week 2 pool. That's like a pick 'em with a fun twist for being a listener of the odds breakers that heard this podcast and decided to join us.
Oh, that's great. Cool. So you got a fun twist actually planned out. That sounds amazing, man. Well, hey, we'll be talking about that obviously throughout the season and getting things going. So this sounds like a great format for all you listeners out there that love sports betting or love picking games, because you can do this throughout the whole year. And they offer way more amounts than sports books do. And you're definitely accredited because you have that guarantee, Peter. Anything I'm missing here?
I don't think so. I mean, I think that it's just the thing that I often say is that the season is like your local bar league that somehow got massive, but kept the spirit. Like we have a lot of fun. We don't take ourselves too seriously, but we're very buttoned up. Like we're a formal U.S. corporation that, is doing all the things that you would expect from an American company. But we don't take ourselves too seriously. And we have a lot around community a lot around, like we had this thing called squads where you can play with just your friends and your family. And if somebody from your squad wins a pool, everyone gets paid. And also if your squad is like the best performing squad out of all the ones that are playing in that pool, then you also get paid. So like allows you to like root for your friends and your family, even if you got eliminated early on in Survivor or whatever it might be. So we do these things to try to make it much more like a league where people actually know and like each other than an anonymous, thing that you're doing on your own. So it's a lot of fun. Hope people come check us out. And yes, again, we spell season the cool kid way, SZN. So as Kiev joked with me about, he's like, the season, spelled the normal way was probably taken, right? Yes, it's taken. But we also like that it's becoming more of a pop culture thing now.
Well, there you go. That's why it's the cool way, the young kid way, the szn.com. Now that makes total sense, but it's easier to write too. Than you're typing it out. You don't have to, just like a long address. No one likes to do that. Nice and short address. Well, great stuff. Make sure you guys check out the oddsbreakers.com/theseason or theseason.com/OB to sign up for these wonderful competitions. Had a blast talking to you, Peter. We'll be talking soon.
Awesome. Looking forward to it.